Hello?
Yes, come in.
Hey, let's go to the movies. How you doing?
Oh, I'd love to go. I want to go see Charlize Theron in the new movie TULLY, where she's a wonderful mother taking care of her children. But I can't go. I'm pregnant and I'm going to have a baby.
What do you mean you're having a baby? What's going on here?
I'm so fat. I'm so ugly. Everywhere I go, people call me names and laugh at me, and I'm very upset. I have to smoke now.
Wait, is that a crack pipe?
Yes, leave my crack alone.
You can't smoke crack.
Leave me alone.
You drinking booze now too?
Oh, yes, crack.
Stop.
I need my crack.
All right.
I need my booze.
All right, stop. Let me take a listen. Can I take a listen?
Yes,
I want to see what's going on here.
All right, all right.
So let me see what's going on. Oh, this does not sound good.
Oh, if only we had a doctor.
Well, I used to be a part-time dental assistant, you know. So, let's take a look at this, shall we? Don't you ever trim down there?
Oh, I used to get out to get a wax every now and then, but not anymore.
Hey, I think your water is about to break. I think something is coming.
Oh no!
Push, push. Just keep pushing. Here we go. Keep pushing. Good job. Good job. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Let's do the head. Crowd in. I got the head. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, I got it. Oh, yeah. It's, I don't know what it is. We're here for episode 79.
We're here for episode 79.
Yeah,
I
how
know.
are you today?
Pretty cool. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Good to see you, dude.
You
Official
too, my
handshake.
friend.
You
Yeah.
know, oh,
We are
don't
live
squeeze so
now.
hard.
We are going live.
We are live, so this is it. We're in Secaucus, New Jersey, once again, episode 79.
Yeah, the Be
we
Terrific
come here. We
Studios.
do come here once a week. It takes us 3 hours to get here from Albany, New York. And we drive down because we're devoted, because we're good guys, because we come into our own here. And
we hope everybody enjoyed our little opening video tonight.
we hope everybody enjoyed. We're going to try and be a little low-key tonight. Now, not the son of Odin, but just a little low-key. Not low-key, but just a little low-key. You know what I mean? We're just going to kind of take it easy because it's the summer is basically almost here. There's not really too much in the movie world. We're actually going to be doing a flashback show.
Yes, tonight we're going to be doing several films that are from yesteryear.
Correct.
Talk about some classics, some Best Picture winners, and some
more
recent flashbacks. Something as recent as Deadpool a couple of years ago. We're going to
Why are
cover
we
that.
going to talk about these old movies?
Could it be that there's a sequel coming out? Is that maybe the reason we chose that?
No, I said why are we talking about old movies?
Oh, I thought you meant why am I talking about Deadpool?
I didn't say that.
Well, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah, but
no,
you were wrong.
Okay, finally. So we're doing some old films because we thought that the audience would be interested in knowing a little bit of what we thought of some of these older films.
Some of these older classics.
What do we think about Midnight Cowboy, for example?
But also at the same time, there's another reason. And the other reason is that it's kind of a slow week at the box office this week.
Too, yeah.
You know, we had 2 films that opened up because the Avengers Infinity War is so dominating.
It is. It's
it's got its whip in its hand, and it is just dominatrixing the competition right down the line. The only other competition we've had is the new film Tully.
Yeah, which we will be reviewing.
We will be reviewing this evening, very shortly, in fact. And, of course, Overboard, which we will not be reviewing.
Yeah.
Which is the remake of the old 1983?
No, I think it was 87.
Was it 87?
Roughly
I thought it was like
87.
83.
No, it was later than that.
Was it? Okay. Kurt Russell?
I want to say between 86 and 87.
Okay.
I really love that film. I really grew up on the original Overboard.
Many people find it to be like a comfort, kind of a comfort movie.
Classic Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell.
I've never seen it.
Come on.
No, I've never seen the film.
You got to see it. It's great. It's really a fun movie. It's funny.
I don't want to see it now.
With two great actors.
I don't want to see it now.
No, I think you'll really enjoy it.
No, I don't want to see it now.
Why?
Because it looks
it's
so old-fashioned. It's going to be
film.
dated, and everybody likes it, so I'm probably going to dislike it. But
oh, don't be one of those people.
Really?
It's really a good film.
One of those people.
Yeah, one of those people that
So
hate...
you're making fun of those people?
No, yeah, the people that hate things because other people like them.
Okay.
That's douchebaggery.
Douchebaggery.
It's douchebaggery, it's elitism, it's snobism, it's all those things.
So if you do look
Snobbery,
up
I should say.
douchebaggery in
That's one of the definitions.
Wikipedia,
yeah.
You see no collusion, no collusion,
no collusion,
no collusion, no collusion.
You gotta have your hands waving like a
no,
fish.
He goes like this. He goes like this. He moves. He goes no collusion, no collusion.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
So there you go.
He's becoming such a parody.
He really, he's, oh my God, this man, I tell you, it's incredible how he continues to, they've now said he's up to over 3,000 lies.
I'm sure.
Over 3,000 lies they've counted, because in almost everything he says, he lies. There's just another thing, and if you are a Trump admirer out there, of course we don't know because we can't read anything. We don't even know if we're even here tonight. You know,
well, the main screen is there.
This is all Black Mirror. What main screen?
No, the screen where we have our people chatting to us is the top screen.
Yeah, but that's dead.
How do we know?
Dead and buried.
Well,
because it hasn't moved for the last hour.
There's nobody currently on there, chatting.
It hasn't moved for the last 15 minutes that we've been sitting here. So let's get into our show.
Fine.
We do a show here, although we could just
shoot. Is that what we're doing?
We could just shoot.
I thought we were just here.
We could just chuck the manure.
Yeah, I don't feel like it tonight. I'm too hot.
You don't want
I'm sweating right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we could just chuck the manure for a whole hour.
No, let's not. Let's start with Tully.
Let's start with Tully.
We'll talk about Tully. It's the new Charlize Theron film.
Should we do the spoilers?
No, no spoilers.
I think we should.
No, I don't believe in spoilers.
I want to spoil it.
Don't spoil it.
I think I want to.
I don't want you to.
I want to.
People don't want to watch a review show when there's spoilers.
I'm not going to spoil it.
You want to alienate
So let's
our
talk
viewers?
about the movie. This is a film with Charlize Theron.
Yes.
Ron Livingston plays her husband. I like Ron Livingston.
I've always been a fan of Ron Livingston.
I like this guy.
I like him quite a bit.
He has a Paul Rudd essence to him without the funniness.
Yeah, and he's a very low-key kind of an actor.
Very low-key.
Ever since Office Space, which was the first time I took note of him.
He was good in Office Space.
He was great.
I love that film.
He was perfectly cast in that
Jennifer
film.
Aniston.
She's in that too.
I love that film.
Oh yeah, that's a
funny
classic.
little movie.
It's a great film.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
But Ron Livingston, of course. Now, who plays the young girl in this film?
Her name is Mackenzie Davis.
Right, and she's excellent.
She's very good. She was in arguably the most popular episode of Black Mirror, the one San Junipero of season 3, where it had the love story of the two women.
The two women. One was a black lady.
Yes,
the other was
yes. And they were in the
that was good. And
the
they were
80s
playing,
world.
They were playing the young girls who were, when you see them as older women, played by...
two old people that I don't know who they were.
Yeah, but I think they were famous, were they?
I don't think they were too famous.
Really? Oh, I thought they were.
But she's been in quite a few films. She was actually just recently in Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, gosh. Oh, she
played the prostitute.
She played the hooker.
Yeah.
She played the hooker who goes in.
She's very attractive.
She's very good.
She lights up the screen in this film.
She does indeed.
Charlize Theron is a mother of 3, one of the children being a newborn, and she's very overwhelmed, we see right away, with life, with being a mother. Life is crazy, as you can imagine. So she gets a night nurse, which comes in to basically help take care of the baby.
I wish I had a night nurse.
So she can sleep. I'm sure you do.
I bet I could. Hey.
So that's the premise of the film, and it's how she begins to bond with this night nurse. At first, she wasn't sure if she was interested. But this is, I would say, a performance film more than anything. Charlize is excellent. She gained 50 pounds for the role.
Did she?
She uglied herself up for this film. Not that people that are 50 pounds heavier are ugly, but Charlize Theron is, obviously
You've really condemned half of our audience out there now.
But she's one of these people that...
Everybody who's walking through Walmart right now, who's watching us live on their phone, is now saying, I ain't going to buy them stretch pants.
Exactly.
I keep them stretch pants on the shelf tonight.
I really respect actors that don't mind
changing their
appearance,
well, of course,
or their image
Mr. De
for
Niro,
film. De Niro,
sure.
Brad Pitt does it often. Charlize Theron did it for Monster and won an Oscar, and then she's done it again here, playing just an average mother. She's not going to win an Oscar for this film. No, she's not. But she's really taking it to the next level in terms of changing her physicality for a performance.
Very true.
I thought it was great. I thought I believed her 100% in this role.
You thought it was great?
I thought her performance was great.
Oh, okay.
I thought I'm not saying the film was great, but I'm saying I thought she was very good in this film too. She really played that role and lived in that character.
She did.
Yeah. But I'll tell you,
there was a lot of milking going on. A lot of milk.
Yeah, but we're not going to milk this review.
I got very thirsty. Watching this film.
I'm sure you did. You wanted some memories in
your person. Hey, thanks for the memories.
No, but I want to say that the first 25 minutes, the first act of this film, first half hour.
The first half hour.
I really was thinking, like, man, this whole opening is almost like a public service announcement for people that are on the fence about having children. Here's what you can expect.
Yeah.
Utter reality, that first half hour of everything you go through with having not only an infant but other children, and one of her children has some developmental disorder of some sort where he's a little tough to deal with in the classroom.
This was the strongest statement for birth control I've seen in a long time on a film canvas, in a film screened environment where we sit and watch a movie.
It's a tough life being a parent.
It's a tough life being a parent, and it's apparently a tough life.
There you go.
So here we have, you know, Charlize with her 3 kids. Of course, well, one is on the way. You know, she's quite pregnant in this. Pregnancy done very, very well. You know, she's massaging cream on her pregnant belly at times.
Well, they do that for the stretch marks to help ease the stretch marks
when they
do appear.
Well, you know. Well, if you see our deluxe video, which is coming up, the world premiere has just aired. However, there will be a second showing for you people who are coming in late. And if you are coming in late, why show up at all? Why show up at all?
Well, I say better late than never.
You do?
I do.
Oh,
because we are catering to the tardiness because we're showing it again,
You're just a good guy.
Which was your idea.
And it also kills an extra 3 minutes of the show.
That's less
So we're out of here, you know, that much quick. But let's get back on to the review. Well, you didn't mention the director, Jason Reitman.
I was actually just saying to myself, we haven't mentioned Jason Reitman.
And you didn't also mention.
Well, we didn't get into that yet. We were going to segue into
the very famous Diablo Cody,
who wrote Juno, Young Adult,
also with Ivan Reitman and Jason Reitman.
Yeah, they've worked together a couple times.
Correct, indeed.
She also wrote that film Jennifer's Body, which was okay.
I liked that film.
With Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried.
I probably liked it just because Megan was in it.
I'm sure you did.
But
I love Jason Reitman's films. I'm a big fan of Up in the Air. That's probably my favorite film of his with George Clooney.
Well, didn't he
2008.
direct,
I love that movie.
What's the one about? Didn't he direct the one about the school? With Bill Murray as the principal?
No, you're talking about Rushmore? No, that's Wes Anderson.
Oh, was Wes?
That was Wes Anderson.
Well, you know, they all kind of blend together after a while.
First commercial big hit.
No, I love that film.
I love it too.
That's another story, however.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another review show.
So let's cut to, the feelings about this film. What did you think about the film as a whole?
As a whole, well, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, but, you know, there is a mother thing going on here. What did I feel about this film? I have to be honest. I was rather, when I came into the theater.
Yes.
Now, we shot a video the other day, which was a parody, if you will, of motherhood
in general,
and the general world of parenting, etc., and what one goes through.
Exactly.
With the crack pipe, the booze. The things that people go through.
That happens in a very small percentage of mothering experiences.
You know, I don't know if that's true. In Middle America, I bet there's a lot of that going on. But that's beside the point.
I'm talking about during the pregnancy.
I felt that this film was kind of very, you know, was I uncomfortable being in the theater?
I was for the first half hour. I got to tell you, I was feeling very tense during that first half hour. It was just like stressful watching what she's going through.
It is a movie.
It is, no, but I mean, it affected me. I was sitting, I'm like, oh my God, the diapers and the diaper genie, and she's changing the bottles, getting up at night, the baby screaming.
I'm going to go the other way.
Anytime I hear a baby scream, I'm just like, ooh.
I'm going to go the other way.
You just can't ignore the sound.
I'm going to go the other way. I felt that this was almost a condescending relief. Now, I hate to use the word condescending, because it's a condescending word. But for me, you know, 90% of the movies that you and I go see in the theater, week after week after week, are violent. We're watching big, violent superhero movies that are big, violent,
most movies
episodic,
are violent these days,
brain-crushing, building smashing, you know, stuff going on constantly. I'd be honest. When I sat down for this film, the first thing that went through my mind was, what am I doing here watching this? This is really not a film to be engaged on the big screen.
Yeah.
This is really a small screen film. This really is a film to be watched at home on a TV as an HBO whatever or Netflix. But that's okay because of our cast director and, you know, they got to pay the bills. Diablo Cody is not cheap, nor is Charlize. So, but I enjoyed the simplicity of this film. This was just a basic film about parents, mothering, and what a mother goes through to milk herself and to go through all the little tribulations of raising an infant, having an infant and raising it.
It's a taste of real life. I mean, this is reality.
I would say that is correct, sir.
Yeah,
it certainly is. We all came into this planet somehow, although I heard that someone spit and you grew out of that.
I did, that's
Someone
true.
just did a...
It did.
And suddenly, this thing started to grow.
That was a piece of discarded cells.
My mother always used to say, he crawled out from under a rock. That's what she used to say about me.
I think that's...
She sat on a rock, and he crawled out from under it.
I think your sock is inside out, by the way.
Oh, is it?
I think that's an inside-out sock.
Oh, why don't I just sock you right in the face?
I think you got it inside out.
That's not important.
It doesn't matter. It just struck me.
Okay, let's get back to this movie just for because we spent almost too much time on it. We have a lot to cover tonight. Did I like this movie? I can't really say I did like it all that much. It was just so kind of, it was out there. I mean, I think that a mother certainly, you know, I mean, people have referred to you as a mother many times in your life.
Yes.
Or a mother or something. But, you know, did you love this film?
I didn't love it, no. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I was very engaged with the film.
I was.
But I don't think I loved it.
Was it a yes for you? Or
I would recommend people to see it at home.
Yeah.
Don't run out to see it.
Don't
I don't
go
think
to
it's
the theater.
a must-see theatrical film.
I agree.
It's definitely something that I think is worth seeing when it's on video, especially for the performances. I thought everybody was very good.
Yeah.
All around. Ron Livingston, Charlize Theron, Mackenzie Davis, all three of them were very, very good in this film, and I liked their characters. What I like, too, about this film is that sometimes in these kind of movies, you'll get the husband character that's really like a jerk. Yeah.
Correct.
And Ron Livingston was not that.
No.
He was your average hardworking dad.
Complacent guy.
Who does what he has to do.
I was waiting, you know, he goes on a trip at one point.
A
I thought we were
trip.
going to show a little side affair where he was...
I didn't think of that, and I'm glad we didn't go there.
Okay.
I felt that there were some moments in this film that I was expecting certain things to happen.
Certainly.
And it didn't. So the fact that it wasn't a paint by numbers predictable kind of a formula film.
Correct.
I like that about it because I feel like most movies now, there's always that formula. And I'm happy that we didn't get that.
Well, this formula was something that you fed to a baby in this film.
Yes.
But let me say this about this very briefly, and that I wanted this film to just be a simplistic formula film. I wanted it to just be a film about a mother.
Yeah.
But no. I'm going to say that. That will be my spoiler. I'm going to say that no. The ending of this film is a punch and a slap in the face. And did we need that? I don't think so. I resented it at the end of the film.
It didn't bother me, the ending.
No, I resented it because, once again, why can't we just sit and watch a film and be entertained by it? Is the only place we can go for this kind of entertainment to Hallmark and Lifetime. That's the only way I can get a simple family film. I mean...
But aren't you the one that always shudders when I say this film is good for the family? A family film?
Well,
now you're wanting a family film?
I'm just saying that's where that's how this film is presented.
Yeah.
It's presented at a simplistic family offering about
family,
the intricacies and the agonies and the misery, if you will, the postpartum depression of raising children, and specifically a child who is
could be mildly
autistic,
on the spectrum or something.
He's autistic or whatever he is, and you know, but no, this film had to go into those other regions of Twilight Zonian
I think
kind
it's
of a
just
kick.
more than anything. This film is a statement on postpartum depression because it's a conversation that is not had as much, and it affects millions of women, and I think that's why. Anyway, so
we
I think we've beaten the dead horse here.
I think so
I would
too.
recommend it to watch at home. You maybe mildly recommend it, right?
Possibly so.
Yeah. All right.
No, I actually liked it. There's a mermaid kind of imagery going on here in this film. You know, there's some interesting things. It's well made.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
very
it was
well
definitely
made.
well made.
I like the acting. All the kids were good. Everybody's fine. But
I thought the little boy was
just
exceptional.
That reverse psychology and just zapping us in the gut with an ending that just didn't really need to be there. I resent that.
Okay.
So that's
moving on.
I'm going to say no on Tully.
A split vote on that.
As much as I like the film, and please stay tuned to the incredible Oscar-nominated short that we have coming up. It's just going to blow your minds.
Right after the review of
acting.
Our flashback conversation of Deadpool, we're going to re-show the opening
Academy
a little bit.
members, for your consideration, I want you to be thinking about this video short that we're going to be showing you, because you're going to be blown away. Your mind is going to be altered.
80-year-olds that are in the Academy are going to shudder at that.
Stoners, start that bong right now.
Yes.
Because you're in for a huge treat.
So moving on. We're going to cover a film on Netflix. It's a Netflix original called ANON. ANON. Starring Clive Owen and Amanda Seyfried. They are the two leads in this film.
Amanda Seyfried. You said that so quickly, I didn't even know what you said.
Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda Seyfried.
Seyfried,
yes,
that's what I said. Amanda Seyfried. Colm Feore is also in this film, who's a great character actor.
Love him. We've seen him so many times. Bald-headed man.
Most notably, he was the main surgeon in Face Off. That was a big thing that I remember seeing
many years ago. We just saw him recently in something.
Yeah, no, he's always working. He's a Canadian. I didn't realize that.
Is he Canadian?
I'm pretty sure he's Canadian.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Doesn't matter. I heard him on Canadian radio. I care.
Who cares if he's Canadian?
Who cares if you're from Woodcliff Lake? Nobody cares.
Yeah, but they do care, because I'm a damn United States citizen.
Oh, shut up.
No collusion. No collusion.
So no collusion. This film, which I didn't realize when I started watching it, was written and directed by Andrew Niccol, who I love.
I love him.
He's great.
He's great.
Do you know who he is?
I don't have a clue.
Andrew Niccol was the writer of The Truman Show, writer-director of Gattaca. He did Good Kill. He did Timeline. He also did.
Let's go to the videotape. Let me just say one thing.
Lord of War.
Let's get to the movie itself. And the movie itself is a futuristic film.
Yes.
And it's very much based on a episode of Black Mirror that we just recently saw.
Well, that
episode is.
That's my favorite episode of Black Mirror, season 1.
This is an episode where
episode 2, I believe.
People have the ability to basically go to a television screen, and I'm having an argument with you.
Yeah.
You say, "Oh no, I said 3," and I said, "No, you said 2."
And you can replay it.
This way, you can literally replay the microchip hard drive in your head and show people exactly what you said.
Too.
Contact lens in that particular Black Mirror.
Yeah, and there's the same thing here.
Well, there was no contact lens.
Yeah, and there is in this movie too. Because
they're wearing contact lenses.
Well, no, it's something that's in their eye, because they do a close-up of Clive Owen's eye at one point.
Right.
You can tell there's something like, over the eyelids.
Yeah, something is going on.
And then it projects in front of them, this like screen kind of thing.
Yeah, literally
almost.
a 3 holographic kind of screen.
And basically it takes place in a future where everybody has these chips. Everybody knows everything about everybody. Yeah. Thank you. It's too complicated.
It's a bong, man.
I know,
it's
too complicated to negotiate.
There you go.
Like it. Not right now.
Yeah, it looks a little too sexual.
It does.
I know.
Especially when you're handing it to me.
I know.
But yeah, so everybody in this film knows you walk by somebody, you immediately see all their stats.
You see all their data.
Hedge broker,
all
25,
their data. All their data
all
is
that
there.
stuff. So, and it's about basically somebody, played by Amanda Seyfried, who is nobody. She has no data.
Well, she's not only
on
that,
the grid,
and she's utilizing her non-data identity of not having a data to remove images and to remove memories from people who hire her.
Yeah.
She's also
people that are looking to hide things.
On the secondary plane of the film, we have a killer. Who is going around, who people literally cannot see. They see through the eye of the killer. So they're seeing a gun.
Yeah.
It's almost like an
they're
old...
being hacked, kind of.
You know, there was an old film called Spellbound by Alfred Hitchcock, and he used a big giant gun at the end of the film, and that's the only scene. When the gun fires in Spellbound, it actually, the film is in black and white, but the gun flash goes in color for some odd reason. But you see the gun is like aimed directly at the person.
So first person,
seeing it. Yeah, it's a first person shooter kind of an aspect of focus on this thing. So we see this gun kind of walking around. We don't know whose arm that is holding this gun. Yeah. But there are murders being committed, We, you know, Amanda Seyfried is she's our designated suspect in this film, and Clive Owen is a detective. He is assuming an alter identity to hire her, so that he may bring her into his loop
and try to catch her.
And he does bring her into his loop. Let me tell you right now, folks.
I'll take that. Thank you.
You know, was there chemistry in this film? You know, this film is so simplistic in a way. I felt that it didn't really deliver the goods. I felt that it just kind of stayed in a very one-dimensional, scientific. It was so enamored with its own technological set of Matrix-like complexity and graphics and so forth. That I don't think it actually got to the heart of. I think the film could have, like in Blade Runner 2049, we assume everything that is, the future is assumed. You know, Denis Villeneuve, he gives us the future, and everybody in the film is assuming and knows that this is how it is. In this film, it's almost like the characters, along with us, are enamored by this whole world. I felt at times, just in the presentation to we the viewer, I felt that I liked the film. I really did. I just image-wise.
I really enjoyed this movie too.
I did too. I really did. It's a three-star. It's a three-star film all the way.
I liked the technology.
It was totally different. It did take a concept of Black Mirror that we loved. Both of us loved. And it explored it a little bit longer. It made it a sexual film noir kind of a bit.
There's a lot of commentary in this film as well. Not a lot, but there is a commentary of the concept of privacy. It's discussed. You know, oh, you don't want to be seen. What do you have to hide? And it's not necessarily about that. So, there's a comment about that. It's not about what I want to hide. It's about what I'm willing to share. You know,
what I'm willing to share due to my own privacy. I want to be private.
In a world without privacy, somebody seeking it is suspect.
And this is precisely, you know, it had many futuristic films kind of go into this world of identity loss, etc. And this film explores that rather magnificently, I will say. It does.
It's very, very well realized. I thought it was. Obviously very well shot. The photography is beautiful. The production design is great. They really did a good job of showing us this, not a bleak world, but there's just some stark, dark coloring to it. You see a shot of Clive Owen coming into his home. Outside, you see the car pull up. The cars, they're futuristic kind of inside.
No, but they look like Dodge Chargers.
Well, no, but the outside, it looks like the Green Hornet car. Remember the TV show?
I do.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, kind of looks like an old Dodge Charger.
It's got computerized navigation. It's got all this. So it
was analog with a digital
it's just got a really cool look. And then
that's what this film was.
It's really neat.
It was
really
analog
sleek.
With a digital engine. Clive is a human being. She's a human being, and the people in this film are all analog. They're all organically real.
There was a great line when sorry to interrupt. When Colm Fiore and Clive Owen are first on the first crime scene where they're talking over the first corpse that they find. And there's when they're starting to figure out the irregularities of the crime scene and all the things they're finding out, there's a line that one of them says, "What is the world coming to when the killer won't show us who they are?" I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well,
now we got a really whodunit on our hands.
It gives their perspective. Because they're so used to
this world.
And that is, in fact, goes against what I just said. But they are used to. But it's pointing it out for our benefit.
It's interesting.
Obviously.
I thought that was kind of a fun little thing.
You know, I really like Clive Owen very much.
I always like Clive.
I love him in this film. I love seeing him again. The man hasn't aged one iota.
He really looks the same.
I pulled out Shoot 'Em Up. The old film he did with Monica Bellucci.
2007, 2008.
I know, it's 10 years ago. And he looks exactly the same. He looks exactly the same in Sin City, the whole middle segment. I just like him.
Me too. He's a very likable actor.
He's a very likable, but he has a great face. He's a good actor.
Great voice.
He has a good voice. He was, in fact, chosen to play James Bond at one particular point. They did end up going with
he would be interesting.
With Craig, Daniel Craig, but. You know, I think he'd be good, too. I like him. And he has a vulnerability about him that he really puts on display in this film. And I really like that a lot. I
thought he was very good in this film.
Amanda was the cool, icy, cold.
Yeah, and she did that part well,
Is she the murderer? Is she not the murderer? We do find out what happens.
Whether she is or not,
And it's, I really liked it. I can't say I loved it, but I
really enjoyed it.
The first half of it, I loved. And then it just kind of, in the third act, it just kind of wilted away under its own weight.
I felt the last half hour, maybe the last 20 minutes I felt like they rushed to the conclusion.
I agree.
I feel like it was a little rushed. Like, okay, let's tie this up real quick, guys.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a very minimal critique.
We only have a budget to do an hour and 40-minute film.
I'll say this, for a film on Netflix, it's probably one of the better ones. Because a lot of their films are not that super great.
You can say that again.
A lot of them have a good concept and then just fizzles. Yeah. I thought this is one of the better ones they've done.
Well, I will say that their series have great concepts.
Series are great,
very often.
But I'm talking about the films and just films.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. Well, you know, most of these films are not really made by Netflix.
They just scoop them up.
They are independent films that they go by.
There's a
big controversy right now
with
about
Cannes,
whether the Cannes Film Festival, the Cannes, it's actually pronounced Cannes.
That's what I just said, Cannes.
You did, but I said Cannes, and I'm just
not
saying
James Caan.
No, not James, but Cannes, like a can of beans. But you know, there is a controversy about whether Netflix is allowed to submit its films under the Netflix moniker, and they are not. It has just been decreed that they are not allowed to submit films
unless it has the theatrical run, I would say.
Unless it has a theatrical run.
If they do a weekend New York and LA,
but
then
I'm
it
not
would
even
qualify.
sure. What if Netflix makes a film and they submit it to, and it's their film, like that Brad Pitt movie that he made.
War Machine.
War Machine. Yeah. That was a Netflix.
They produced that
film.
Yes.
But they produce very few films.
Yeah. But I think they're still technically a TV company then.
Correct.
But if they take this film that they produced and they do a small theatrical run, then I think they should be able to.
No. All Netflix films have been banned from Cannes.
Well, you know why? Because
they've been canned from Cannes.
If the first time it's ever going to be seen is at a festival,
then
that's a different story. But if they're just saying, no, you're a TV company, then yeah, that's kind of tough. I don't know, if I were Netflix, I would fight them.
Well,
they are.
I think they're trying to fight it.
Because Amazon is now having films, and they're technically in the same boat.
Well, I don't know if Amazon is submitting films to Cannes.
I don't know about the Cannes, but Manchester by the Sea was an awards darling, and that was that was a film that was getting some theatrical run. So I don't know. It's interesting. I think Netflix, if they want to do this, they really should get films in theaters.
It's a shame about all the people that died after seeing Manchester by the Sea, because I heard that the DVD itself actually came with 2 razor blades
to kill yourself,
so that people could end their lives.
I know you weren't a fan of the bleakness of that storyline.
It was so miserable. But you know, Ghost Story was
worse.
Ghost Story was like watching Pinocchio. You know, it was like a Disney. That was like a Disney.
I guess in comparison.
Compared to.
But it was also very bleak and kind of depressing too. But I like both those films.
I know.
Anyway, so shall we move on?
We're going to move on.
We both recommend 2 yeses for ANON.
No question.
Check it out. It's on Netflix.
Just for its uniqueness alone, go check out this film, ANON.
I definitely recommend it.
And it stands basically for anonymous.
Yes.
Because that is what a person with no identity is referred to as an ANON.
So we're gonna.
I loved Amanda Seyfried, by the way. You know,
she's very good.
You know, she looks wonderful without clothes. There's no question. I personally do not look wonderful without clothes.
That's too bad.
You know, you see this Greek god sitting here, and you say to yourselves, "Well, my God, he's so dashing, he's so debonair, and he's a man of the world." You know.
I already had a hit. That's your turn.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Tell the audience what you've already said about yourself. Why you don't wear short sleeves?
Oh, because I have a body like a praying mantis. That's why. If you ever see a praying mantis, you know, he always has that kind of look. I have chicken arms.
I think we should do a bit where you're in a costume of a praying mantis. That'd be awesome.
I think that'd be cool.
We'll paint your arms green, maybe.
Do that bit, man.
All right, so we're going to move on because we're running low on time here.
No, we're not. We're only a half hour into the show.
Yeah, but we still have look at all this to do.
Who cares?
So we're
going to run over, man.
That's true.
Dude, we can go as long as we want.
So our first flashback is only from 2016. But we are doing the rest of the show.
2015?
No, 2016.
2016.
The rest of the show is going to be flashback films.
Correct.
The most recent.
You can tune out now if you want to, but you're going to miss our world premiere video
after this review
coming up right after Deadpool.
But Deadpool is our first of flashbacks because the new one is coming out next week.
Literally
on the 18th.
In a week, the 18th.
So we thought it'd be fun to talk about the original for a couple of minutes here.
Exactly.
We all know what Deadpool is. You know Ryan Reynolds is in it. You pretty much have seen it, I'm pretty sure, most of you.
I hope you have seen it. If you have not, please go see it. It's a funny.
It's a goofy film.
It's not just action-packed. It's not a comedy. It's absurd drama.
Yeah.
It is drama with just such an absurd touch. I love this film. I've seen Deadpool so many times. You know who else has? The guy from, I watched him on Jimmy Kimmel the other night.
Yes.
The big guy who's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Batista?
Dave
Batista.
Right. Dave Batista has seen Deadpool, he said like 16 times. He has watched that movie in the theater. He loves that film so much.
Wow.
And I'll tell you something, I feel the same way. Ryan is hilarious.
He's finally gotten that role that was going to define his career, and I'd say this is it. He's great.
I don't know if it defines his career because I've always liked Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but I think this is what he's going to be remembered the most for. His first really big movie.
Oh, I disagree.
I think so.
I think his career is way too young to put Deadpool in as the crowning pin on
but
his
I mean,
cap.
when people talk about Pacino, you talk about The Godfather, right? Defining role.
But Pacino is 88 years old.
No, but I'm saying
I'm talking Ryan Reynolds is 42.
The biggest film he's going to be remembered for.
Oh, I disagree.
As of right now.
No, I think Ryan will make many more great films.
I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying this is the first feather in his cap. He's a guy who struggled to really have a big hit for a long time.
Believe it or not, his first film was a huge hit. It was
Van Wilder.
Van Wilder.
Yeah, no, that was good.
That was a big hit.
But he didn't become an overnight sensation.
No, he didn't. But I'll tell you this. He used to be in a show called Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Shop.
And then they changed it to Two Guys and a Girl.
Right.
Yeah.
And I used to watch that show.
And you
My wife and I used to sit there and watch that show, and I always said to her, this guy's going to be a huge movie star.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. He's got that deadpan look on his face, and he can say the funniest line.
No, he's extremely talented.
He's extremely talented.
He's very good.
And he's a great guy at heart.
He is.
Married to the beautiful Blake Lively, let's be honest.
Yes.
Who wouldn't be a great guy? But at the same time, I just like him. I love him in Deadpool. I really do. He was wonderful in that little movie that you never saw, the one with Sam Jackson, where they're
Hitman's Bodyguard.
You never saw it.
I didn't see it.
I
didn't want
know,
to.
you silly fool, you.
Well, I
It's a funny movie.
I just read
Sam Jackson's hilarious
I know.
in
No,
that.
I'll say you see it eventually.
No, you won't.
Maybe I won't.
No, you won't.
But I just read that they just greenlit a sequel.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It's really a fun movie, and Gary Oldman plays the
know,
bad
he's
guy.
the bad guy. I know.
It's really a fun little flick.
I know.
It's got that Deadpool kind of hilarity to it.
Okay.
Because Ryan Reynolds presents that, so writers kind of write that for him.
Okay.
Just like they do in Deadpool. You keep staring at my hair. Is it that entertaining?
No, it's not.
You keep looking at it.
I'm actually looking at my reflection in your glasses.
Oh, I'm actually looking at my reflection
And
on
my
that
forehead.
huge forehead.
Yeah. Get some new material.
Okay, I will.
You've been using that joke since 2005.
I've been smoking my underwear, but ladies and gentlemen, it's good shit.
But, Deadpool's a lot of fun, obviously.
Try smoking your underwear.
If you haven't seen it,
It's
you
good
really got to
shit.
catch up
It's
and
good
check it out
shit,
at this point.
Yeah.
We love Deadpool here.
Do you change your underwear every day?
Of course. Do
you?
Yeah.
Not me.
Why?
I'll go 3 or 4 days.
That's disgusting.
No, and I'll scratch my ass.
You are a animal.
I just wanted to throw that in.
I know.
That's not really true.
Yeah, gross.
He was funny in Just Friends. Thank you. Hey, we actually have
we got somebody watching.
our Porg star.
Yes.
He was funny in Just Friends. I remember that film. Who was in that? Was that Amy Smart?
No, I thought it was in an hour.
No, Just Friends, I believe, is Amy Smart.
Amy Smart is
I love Amy Smart, by the way.
Yeah,
she was in those two horrible films with Jason Statham.
Statham,
where he's dropping, he's falling out of the Crank.
Yeah, I only saw the first one.
And Anna Faris, very good.
Yeah, Anna Faris. I think she was in that too.
God bless you, Porg star.
And and she was also obviously in Road Trip.
Yes,
Amy Smart.
Yes, obviously so. I like Amy Smart.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything else about Deadpool, or do you want to move on?
Well, let's talk about the sequel. It's coming out shortly.
Coming out next week.
He's still with the lovely woman who plays his girlfriend in that film. What is her name?
Morena Baccarin.
Morena Baccarin.
I believe
that's her name. On the show Gotham. I watch her weekly.
Yes.
She's wonderful. She's actually married to the star of Gotham.
Oh, yeah, she is.
What's his name?
Who plays
Jim Gordon.
Yes.
Plays Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
And she's wonderful, and I love her in the first Deadpool.
She's great.
She is back for the sequel here.
T.J. Miller's back.
T.J. Miller's back
as
the bar owner.
His days are numbered, I think, before he goes to jail.
I don't know.
He's a mess.
Could be. He is a bit of a...
He's like self-destructing.
He is a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
I saw him on Lip Sync Battle.
How was he?
He didn't lip sync anything.
Oh.
He just ran around the stage. He never lip synced. He never did what you're supposed to do on the show.
That's kind of ridiculous.
So what's his name? The LL Cool J was kind of going, well, okay, you're not really doing the show.
Yeah, that's kind of silly.
I like T.J. Miller though. When he first came out, I thought he was hilarious.
He's great. I mean, I loved him on Silicon Valley, and
he was in that Office Party show, that movie,
Office Christmas Party,
which was
that was amusing.
It was amusing.
It was okay. It wasn't great.
The best part of that was when some guy falls and his whole head snaps back. It looks so real. I don't know how they did it, but he falls on like a concrete block, and he goes, yeah, hey, what? And he jumps off the side of this banister up high where the DJ is, and he hits his head, and it goes bonk, and it just looks so horrible. And right after that scene, did you see that movie?
I did.
Yeah, and right after that scene,
it on the show.
I know it's
our old show.
It is an unrated film with like an extra 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston's actually kind of funny in the film. Yeah. She plays a Taekwondo person. But back to Deadpool and the sequel, it does look kind of cool.
The trailers are fun.
I know he has a bit of a gang now. They're turning all the Marvel films.
Well, now they're introducing the X-Force, which was another squad of heroes. Yeah.
I'm getting tired of that nonsense.
Anyway, we really got to move the show along.
Just preferred just Ryan and TJ and the Indian, the man who drives the...
Yeah, that's funny. The Uber driver.
The Uber driver is very funny. He's very good.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I
Josh
am too.
Brolin as Cable. That should be amusing.
Big
I think
mistake
he's a little
by
miscast.
Marvel. What is Marvel thinking? They just had him as Theos.
I like Josh Brolin quite a bit, but I don't think this is the right role for him.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just, you know, a little bit overexposure here. He's just in Thanos. Yeah. You know, in War Infinite nonsense.
But I would have preferred another actor in general, though.
Well, okay.
Stephen Lang would have been better.
I don't want to see Josh Brolin in every Marvel film that comes out. And, you know, here's two in a row.
Well, this isn't technically a Marvel film because it's a Marvel property.
It is a Marvel film.
Fox, this isn't a movie produced by Marvel. This is by Fox.
Has the Marvel opening when it starts.
I don't know.
Trust me. You go back and watch Deadpool. I've watched it a zillion
I know that,
times.
but I thought that was a licensing because I thought Fox owned the property. And they had to make a deal with Marvel to use the character.
Well, Deadpool has never been in one of the... You know, he's not in the Avengers.
If Marvel buys the rights again, I think that Fox has to credit Marvel, but I don't think Marvel produced it, unless they have a joint agreement that I'm not aware of.
There you go.
Doesn't matter.
All right, so Deadpool's coming out. The new one, May 18th.
Coming out next week.
The new one comes out a week from this Friday, so go check it out. It's going to be a kick. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to make a lot of money, too.
I think so, too.
And I love
it might be the first film to dethrone the Avengers, I would guess, maybe.
Maybe by then,
From being number one.
Yeah. And we should talk about that because now it's over $1 billion now worldwide.
It's crazy how big
it is nonsense. Well, you know, they're just talking about how
I can tell you the exact number if you
Disney
want to
made
have it
so
here.
much money off of Black Panther.
I know, they're making a fortune.
You know, that wasn't you know, I put that movie on for. I have a good friend.
Domestic alone, it's $461 million.
Yeah, right. Well, worldwide, it's over $1 billion.
Yeah, I know.
Because I think it opened with like 563 in China and all over the world. But I did put on the Black Panther for my friend Eric, who is a very hard audience, got up and walked out on it about halfway through. Didn't care for it. But that's Eric for you.
So shall we cut to our little second screening here?
We're moving on to our next flashback.
Well, no, now we're going to do our screening. I thought you wanted to show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the second screening of our little bit that we did.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to be showing you the world premiere second showing. This is the second coming, if you will, of the new video based on Tully, starring myself and Mr. Chris Picard here in a smaller, minuscule role.
Enjoy our skit.
That's not actually true, but do enjoy our skit.
And we'll be right back.
And we'll be right back.
Let's go to the videotape.
Go to the videotape. Is that
He's not, but I hope he will. Hello?
Yes, come in.
Hey, let's go to the movies. How you doing?
Oh, I'd love to go. I want to go see Charlize Theron in the new movie Tully, where she's a wonderful mother taking care of her children. But I can't go. I'm pregnant and I'm going to have a baby.
What do you mean you're having a baby? What's going on here?
I'm so fat. I'm so ugly. Everywhere I go, people call me names and laugh at me, and I'm very upset. I have to smoke now.
Wait, is that a crack pipe?
Yes, leave my crack alone.
You can't smoke crack.
Leave me alone.
You drinking booze now too?
Oh, yes, crack.
Stop.
I need my crack.
Right.
I need my booze.
All right, stop. Let me take a listen. Can I take a listen?
Yes,
I want to see what's going on here.
All right.
So let me see what's going on. Oh, this does not sound good.
Oh, if only we had a doctor.
Well, I used to be a part-time dental assistant, you know. So, let's take a look at this, shall we? Don't you ever trim down there?
Oh, well, I used to get out to get a wax every now and then, but not anymore.
Hey, I think your water is about to break. I think something is coming.
Oh no!
Push! Just keep pushing. Here we go. Keep pushing. pushing. Good job. Good job. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Oh, let's do the head. It's crowded. I got the head. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, I got it. 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 Oh, yeah. It's, I don't know what it is.
All right, we're back.
How are we doing, everybody? I hope you enjoyed
Hope you enjoyed
it's an experience,
the
to say the
second
least.
coming of just the most delusional, strange, nonsensical world that, that goes inside the brain
ugly and
Christopher and
filled with
myself.
lunacy.
It was,
but it was a lot of fun.
It was great fun. It took us about 4 to 5 hours to shoot that.
I think about 4.
And, but I did have it all storyboarded out. I had it all set to go. I knew what each scene was.
You had it written out on a
Well, I had it written out.
napkin.
This shot here, we only had 7 shots basically.
Roughly, yeah. I think we got maybe a couple extra ones on the spot, something like that.
I think so too.
But it went well. We had a good time doing it.
I thought it went very well.
I was happy with how it came out.
Our next film, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go right to. Wait, Pork Star. Now, is that your reaction to the video?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
It is a bit nuts, I agree, but we're glad that you were shocked or moved or mentally disabled by that video, because it certainly brings a tear to my eye to know that someone now will be going to therapy because of something I've done.
Yes.
So that brings me great joy.
All right, so
we're going to move on to our first flashback of the night.
The second flashback. Because, well, Deadpool was first.
Deadpool's only 2016, not much of a flashback.
Well,
it's more like a full.
We're kind of going back in time in chronological order. So now we're going to 2015.
Let's go to 2015.
Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak, Guillermo
del Toro.
This was a film that kind of was low on his radar.
Yeah.
It did come out.
It came out. I think it wasn't received. Well, I guess you could say it was mixed reviews.
Well, it was mixed reviews because it's kind of heralded. It's hysterical and disturbing. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Says Pork Star up here. Thank you, Pork Star. You're the only one with us tonight. The O-Nerd is obviously...
Where is the O-Nerd?
I don't know where. I think he's having his hemorrhoids removed.
He could be.
And they accidentally cut off his head.
Oh, no.
So, I heard when the O-Nerd was actually born that his mother actually crapped. She actually...
Oh, did she?
She crapped herself.
Well, they say most women do during birth,
I know. She crapped herself when she gave birth, and the doctor thought it was twins.
Oh, boy.
But, hey,
speak for yourself.
Hey, but seriously, folks, hysterical and disturbing. Thank you, Pork Star. You made my day.
So Crimson Peak was Guillermo del Toro's latest film before Shape of Water came out.
Before Shape of Water, it was 2015.
It's a ghost story. It's
is.
about a young girl played by Mia Wasikowska who gets
Tom
Hiddleston. She gets involved with him. He has a sister played by Jessica Chastain.
I love Jessica.
She goes to live with them after the death of her father to their big estate over in England. And I guess it's England, right?
Yes.
And
somewhere.
Very creepy. It's up on a hill. It's over a clay mine, apparently.
Well,
which is a reference to the
Crimson aspect of it. It's basically about a young girl.
Yeah.
Her father is
very rich, very wealthy.
Very rich, very wealthy. Yeah. And at the very beginning of the film, he's murdered by Mr. Tom Hiddleston.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
Well, we know it, yeah.
Not really. It's
pretty
implied.
much.
No, there's some ambiguity there.
Well, I don't think so, sir.
I think so.
No, we see that actually
we
occur.
don't. No, we don't. We only see the hands. We don't see the face of the killer.
Oh, okay. You could be right. Yeah. You could be right. But anyway,
it doesn't matter.
It does not matter. And Brian Cox, is that Brian Cox playing the dad?
No, the father is not Brian Cox. No, the father. Okay. He's good. I've seen him before.
Yeah, he's been in many things.
His name is Jim Beaver.
Oh, Jim Beaver.
He's very good. He's got a very powerful voice.
Well, damn.
I liked him a lot, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of those actors. For me, I just noticed him. Some people, you watch the scene, you notice the star.
You see Jim Beaver.
I noticed him.
You say, damn.
Jim Beaver.
Jim Beaver.
Yeah.
Beaver Dam.
Exactly.
I know.
But this is a beautiful film.
It is lovely to look at.
Gorgeous.
There's a young.
The production design.
Is the young blonde girl in this? Is this not the same girl that's in Alice in the Looking Glass?
Mia Wasikowska.
Mia Wasikowska.
I think that's how you say it.
Oh,
Mia Wasikowska. Yeah, she's Australian.
Hysterical and disturbing and
she's
still
very
there.
good.
But she is very good. I like her very much. She's got that very innocent kind of. Nordic, high cheekbone.
She plays disturbed youth very well. She's done it a couple other times.
Yeah, but not in this film.
Not in this film.
No, she's very,
more
quite
haunted
normal.
in this.
Yeah.
But she was very disturbed in, I believe it was Map of the Stars, David Cronenberg's film.
Oh, okay.
But she's been.
I don't know if I saw that one. No, I did see that one.
John Cusack was in that.
Yeah, I didn't see Cosmopolis.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, that was good. The whole thing takes place in a limousine. It was interesting.
I know, that's why I didn't want to watch.
No, it's worth seeing. It's interesting.
I love Cronenberg.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites.
Me too.
And his wife just died. I feel bad for him.
Oh no. I'm
last
so
year.
Sorry.
But
so
anyway,
he won't be making any movies very soon, or if he does,
maybe he will.
it'll be one of his best films.
Exactly, you're right.
Unfortunately, tragedy always makes everybody. Jim Beaver, I think, popped up in a Breaking Bad and Justified.
He wasn't Breaking Bad. He was the arms dealer. You
very
are
good,
correct.
pork star.
Good memory.
So.
And I just noticed a typo here. I did Guillermo del Toro. It's supposed to be a G.
Oh, well, that's quite all right. Nobody cares.
Let's
talk about this movie
but it's a beautiful film.
As a horror film.
Yeah.
It's not really that scary.
No, it's creepy because there's some moments with these ghosts that are pretty ugly. But it's not a scary film.
Not a scare film.
No, it's not.
You know, I think it was more it was more horrifying because there's people are trying to kill this young girl.
Yes.
There's evil going on in this house by main characters.
Yes.
And I still love this movie though.
I really enjoyed it.
I like getting immersed into this world.
Yeah.
I've seen this film 5 times. I really have. I go back to it. It just sits on my...
I'd see it again. I saw it for the first time over the weekend. But
sits on my coffee table forever. It's underneath all my other new films that I get, and I just like to go back to it from time to time.
It's gorgeous.
I love looking at it.
He really knows how to design...
Provide art direction, aesthetics.
Well, yeah, he designs a motif for his films that... I would feel he's getting up there with one of those filmmakers that has a visual signature. His movies are just gorgeous, and he always has such great shots.
Absolutely true.
Gorgeous. This movie, you're panning up and down the long staircase. You got the chandeliers. You got light coming in through the windows and these beams. Then outside with the snow.
Correct.
It's just a gorgeous film.
It is truly
gorgeous cinematography.
Magnificent, aesthetically.
Haunting quality to it.
It does indeed.
Yeah. 3 stars
you can go
all the
right
way.
back. Oh, I'd go 3.5. Yeah. I'd go 3.5 on this film. You can go right back to The Devil's Backbone. I
haven't seen that.
He shot in Mexico.
See that one.
It's a wonderful film.
Yeah.
It's all in subtitles, of course. And then he did a movie that he produced. Of course, Pan's Labyrinth. If you have not seen Pan's Labyrinth, oh my God, it is the dark Wizard of Oz.
It's my favorite of his films.
It's so breathtakingly beautiful. The creatures in this film. If you've ever seen Naked Lunch, directed by David Cronenberg. We have creatures in that. Is Del Toro doing Lovecraft? Asked Porkstar.
Well, Porkstar, his dream film was In the Mountains of Madness. He wanted to do that film for quite some time.
I thought Shape of Water was his dream film. Okay.
Well, this was a passion project for I think a little longer, and he was actively getting ready to do it, and then he decided against it because there was another film that came out, which I don't remember what it is at this moment, that he felt had very similar themes and ideas that he just felt that it was not going to be worth the effort because it kind of stole the thunder.
Well, this is nonsense. You're telling us stuff that doesn't matter.
Well, I'm answering a question from the viewer.
But she's just he or whatever that is, Porkstar.
We are interacting with our viewers who asked a question about a Lovecraft project that Del Toro was involved in.
Look it up in IMDb, Porkstar.
Well, hey, I just saved them the effort in about 30 seconds.
By killing 2 minutes of our time that's dwindling away.
A lot more interesting in your meandering story about your friend who didn't like the movie and walked out.
A 9-second story, if I may say.
Mine was 30 seconds.
No, yours was about 48.
That was
not
48 seconds.
You're extending it even longer.
Lick the inside of my anus, all right?
Okay, please. Oh, how crude.
Yeah, so
how crude can
anyway,
you be,
Crimson Peak, we enjoyed the film. We love Del Toro here.
This is a family show.
Is it a family show? After what we just showed.
Well, that's true. All right, you got me there.
That's your line? Anus licking?
Tonight you're forgiven. Only because of our incredible video that now has the Porkstar, star of the Porg. By the way, what does that mean, star of a Porg?
Well, no, the Porg were the little characters that are in the new Star Wars Jedi. The little creatures that look like hamsters that were hanging out in the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, no. Those little cheap-looking...
They were hanging out with Chewbacca.
Yeah. They're Porgs?
And so that was a reference to that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, very good.
So
Crimson Peak, I did. It's aesthetically a beautiful film. It's a little disappointing in the horror. Show the video again. Go to that. I'd love to. You missed it the first time. We did show it at the beginning of the show.
You can watch it on the replay.
The replay is coming right up, and you're going to see it again.
Yes.
So I'd love to put that on. It really should be going viral. We should definitely put that on YouTube.
I can put that out there by itself.
Put that out there by itself.
I was going to attach it to the Tully review as well.
Put that right on there, man. Because, no, don't attach it to the Tully. Just put it on all by its own.
Okay.
We just might go viral, my friend.
We'll see what
Next
happens.
thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire here.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to hold my breath for money.
We could be sitting,
$1 million.
We could be sitting pretty, buddy.
Yeah.
I know. So, okay, Crimson Peak, we love the film. I just want to mention one little thing. He made this movie with Katie Holmes. He did not direct it, he produced it.
Yeah.
And it was called, I think, The Puppet something, maybe, that kind of, but it all goes on. She used to live in this house, and there's like little creatures living in the basement and stuff. I really like this.
He produced that film.
Yeah,
yes.
he did.
That was a remake of a film from the 50s or 60s.
Okay. And of course, Mama, also with Jessica Chastain, he produced that.
And that film you're talking about with Katie Holmes, my father used to tell me about that film when I was a kid. My whole childhood, I heard about the original.
Now, was this about the Dusty and the receptacle?
No, this is about the little creatures that live behind the fireplace of this house. They buy this big old house.
Correct.
And my dad could never remember the name of the movie. And then he would always hear these creatures moving like, oh, they're always whispering, a little creepily. Wow. And then he produced a remake.
Yes.
Of course, I can't remember the film. I'm going to look it up right now.
Go look it up right now.
Yeah,
and I'm going to move on to Ed Wood.
Cool.
I'll move us on to Ed Wood.
Yeah, Ed Wood is the next film.
Ed Wood is our next film.
Flashback.
It's Ed Wood, of course, produced by Tim Burton, starring Johnny Depp.
Directed by Tim Burton, too.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah, we said produced by.
Oh, I forgive me. I meant to say directed.
It's okay.
I love Ed Wood. Show the video again, man. I wish we could.
Ed Wood is really a classic. I think it's still Tim Burton's probably best work.
It's one of his best work. No, I disagree. I think Tim is just an amazing. I love Miss Porcupine's peculiar ways and.
Miss Pettigrew's?
Yeah, I love Eva Green, and I like that film quite a bit. It's a lovely to look at film.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
That's
2010, Katie Holmes.
Katie Holmes.
That's what it was called.
Oh, I like that film so much.
Yeah, it was a good film.
And that's a creepy film.
It was creepy, yeah.
That movie
Check that
really...
out. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Yeah.
That blows Crimson Peak right out of the wallpaper.
That was a disturbing little film.
However, Crimson Peak is just magnificent looking. It's so beautiful. And, you know, you're going down hallways.
Gorgeous.
I
Colors.
agree. Porgstar says Miss Pettigrew is very underrated. I totally agree. I have that film also on a 4K 3D version, and in 3D it just looks magnificent. It kind of goes on a little bit too long, and she turns into a
I remember
raven.
You wanted to trim that film when we first reviewed it.
Well, we all need a little trim. Just like the bush that you just saw in that video. That bush needed to be trimmed. Don't you think, Porgstar?
Yes.
I think so. That bush was huge, damn it.
It was. But yeah, Ed Wood, if you don't know the story, it's
about Ed Wood, the director,
Ed Wood, the famous director.
From the 50s. He did Plan 9 from Outer Space.
Which arguably, they say, the worst film ever made. But
they do say that.
It was made with a lot of passion and love. We can't take that away from the guy.
Well, you know, there's something about the actual man, Ed Wood. He was a cross-dresser.
He was.
He used to like to wear cashmere sweaters. He used to like to, you know, I just like this film a lot.
Me too.
Martin Landau won an Oscar for this movie.
For playing Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi. And you should go see it just for Martin's performance.
It's great.
And Tim Burton's, not his wife, but I think that might have been his first wife.
At the time, she was his girlfriend,
like
I think.
The Elvira,
Lisa Marie, right?
Well, no, the Elvira kind of character.
Her name was Lisa Marie.
That Elvira actually, the current Elvira came from
that.
The essence of this woman with large bosoms who had the long black hair and the V-neck, and she's in Plan 9 from Outer Space. She's kind of like, I forgot what her name is in that particular...
She was the inspiration for
Yeah, but she was the inspiration for
Elvira.
Elvira, played by Cassandra Peterson, who was a good buddy of Mr. Pee Wee Herman.
That's right.
Absolute.
Yeah.
But anyway, so and that's all a Tim Burton circular revolution there. Ed Wood, you know, I almost feel like I could just go on to the next film already. I like Ed Wood. I like the silvery look to it.
No, it has a great look. Really beautiful black and white.
It's
got a
beautiful black and white.
Great cast of people in there. You got Bill Murray who shows up, Sarah Jessica Parker, Jeffrey Jones.
Absolutely. Yeah, true.
We also have a great cameo from one of the best scenes in the film for me is when he's in a bar and he meets Orson Welles, played by Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh, yeah,
and he inspires him when he's really low.
Okay, right.
It's a great scene. It's a scene-stealing moment for D'Onofrio, in my opinion.
It's a beautiful-looking film.
It's a great biopic.
I'll tell you this. There's only one other film that comes close in the beauty of black and white for me to just enhance the contrast so nicely. It's a Coen Brothers film with Billy Bob Thornton called The Man Who Wasn't There.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson, very young Scarlett Johansson is in that film. That movie, John Goodman's in it, but it has just a beautiful, silvery kind of coating to it. There's just an absolute, you know, I love aesthetics of a film. That's why I love Crimson Peak. Is it a great movie? It's not, but it looks so good. Where Pan's Labyrinth, on the other hand, looks great, but it is a great film. But Crimson Peak is not a great film. It really bombed at the box office. It didn't do well at all.
No.
I remember that first weekend vividly because I was there.
It wasn't getting great reviews.
I went opening day. I went that first Friday or possibly the Thursday night prior.
Yeah.
And as Richard Pryor would say, I don't know what you're talking about, will it? But you know, I was thinking about this the other day. Little Gary, what's his name? That poor little guy who died.
From what?
Gary,
Gary Coleman?
What you talking about?
From Different Strokes?
Yeah.
Gary Coleman.
You know, he died of several brain aneurysms.
Yeah.
You know, talk about
a lot of health problems.
Different Strokes.
But
I
was going to say, too, black and white, when people smoke in movies that are black and white, it just not that it looks great, but it's just
super
a cool look.
No, it does look cool.
To it.
Absolutely.
I reminded of Good Night in Good Luck, where George Clooney's film with David Strathairn playing Edward R. Beautiful. He's smoking the whole movie.
Yeah.
It just looks awesome. You just see the smoke coming up. It's just
another great film directed by George Clooney. A German film.
The Good German.
The Good German.
Kate Blanchett.
Matt Damon's in it. Oh my God! What a magnificent
Sometimes
looking.
Black and white is gorgeous.
And white can just be gorgeous. It's so true.
Like Schindler's List wouldn't have worked if it was in color. We needed that black and white.
I don't know. I could have almost done. I would like to almost see a colorized Schindler. I would. But you know, it probably couldn't. It goes with the grain of the documentary feel.
It does.
And many people thought that was actual documentary footage.
They did it so
inside Auschwitz.
Yeah.
But of course, there's Ray Fiennes, you know, picking off people with his sniper rifle.
Yeah.
So obviously, Ray Fiennes was not around back in the 40s to annihilate folk walking around a concentration camp. But Ed Wood, great movie. If you have not seen it, please go back and check it out. Johnny Depp was normal kind of back then. Now he's just turned into a psycho, raving lunatic.
I love Johnny Depp, but now he's kind of becoming a parody of himself.
He really is becoming kind of a bit of a whack job, and that eccentricity is just overtaking him now.
It's too much. I don't know why.
And you know, Amber Heard, you know, she made a good point for me. She showed a video of him. Yelling at her, slamming
in the kitchen, all the cabinets,
all the cabinets in the kitchen.
He was drinking. Well, they say he drinks an incredible amount of wine every day.
Is it wine or rum?
He's a wine drinker.
Okay.
He loves wine, expensive wines.
Oh wow.
He had. From when all those documents came out when they were getting divorced, they were saying the amount of money he spends a month on wine was like 5 figures. Crazy.
Wow. Well, it's a shame, but Johnny is
still
a
really
fine actor.
Great guy with the public. He treats waiters well. He's still #1 for autographs. He's not a jerk to anybody.
I'll never forget, I saw him at the Oscars one time, and some little girl came over to him and just wanted to, and he had just made that film Finding Neverland.
Yes.
He had just made that, and a little girl came over to him and said, "Oh, Johnny, I like you so much." And he was like, "Oh, hi," and he gave her a hug, and he's just a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
It's a shame
I still
that
like him.
Drugs and just
not
not bathing.
He's on drugs. I think he's
not
just
bathing.
drinking wine.
Not bathing has turned him into the homeless guy. Now he looks like Keith Richards Jr.
I know, he's going for that.
I know, who he's parodying in the Pirates of the Caribbean films. And now he's become kind of Keith. But Keith Richards, you know, every time you light up a cigarette, God gives Keith Richards an extra hour on his life.
I know, true.
So keep smoking those cigarettes, man. Keep smoking those blunts. As Snoop Dogg might say, dude, because that gives Keith Richards an extra hour on his life. Let's move on now. Our next film is going to be The Deer Hunter.
1978's Best Picture.
Okay. Have you ever heard of The Happy Roman?
Happy Roman?
Yeah. So the opening joke of the film.
I don't remember that.
John Casale. Actually, no. It is not John Casale. It is Christopher Walken is in the locker room. They're just all getting
out of work.
Have you heard about the Happy Have you heard? I should do my Christopher. I have to hear him though to do it.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the Happy Roman? He was Gladiator.
Oh, that's funny.
But
yeah, that sounds like a Daryl joke.
It does indeed.
But the Deer Hunter, if you haven't seen it, it's it's a classic.
Amazing
it's a
film.
huge
Michael Cimino.
Statement on Vietnam. It's,
it is.
Robert De Niro. You have Christopher
the Russian
Walken,
roulette scene.
Russian roulette. You have
outrageous. John Savage.
Meryl
John
Streep,
Cazale.
John Cazale. And it's just about a bunch of friends in a kind of a coal town
Small
in
Pennsylvania town
that go off to Vietnam.
And
it changes them.
Completely.
I mean, it gets very harrowing at times. They become POWs.
They do.
Go through some really crazy stuff, like Daryl mentioned.
It's a horrifying thing. That whole Russian
scene.
roulette thing I heard was total fiction. I heard that
never happened?
Yeah, that really never happened, and that was just a creation by Cimino
and
his
this
writers.
movie wasn't based on a true story, was it?
Well,
it was based on experiences of people in Vietnam, but I don't know if this was per se a true story.
It's based on the encompassing stories of a million guys.
So how can we say for sure that nobody was ever subjected to forcible Russian roulette?
Because they certainly wouldn't last. There you go. One of the best and emotionally brutal movie. I now know Pork Star is a guy.
It really
and you're right, Pork Star. You're absolutely true.
And it has such beautiful music that can bring you to these poignant moments and
great
these
guitar
sad
work.
moments,
Yeah, I have
and
the
these
soundtrack.
brutal moments. Yeah, it's great.
It is a brutal film, but this is De Niro's film
all the way, and it's his favorite role.
Put an extra chamber in that gun. Put an extra chamber in that gun. I mean, you remember The Wind in the Trees? You remember The Wind in the Trees? I mean, this film is so magnificent.
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour epic film. And it is just absolutely incredible to watch.
I remember the first time I saw it, I was in high school, and I rented it from the video store. And it was an entire evening. I was just like, wow, this movie is... Because my dad had told me about it.
Yeah.
I always remember that first viewing. It was unlike anything I'd seen.
Sings America the Beautiful at the end, or God Bless America.
This was her big break, too.
Well, kind of.
In a way, into the mainstream, because...
she and John Cazale were a couple at the time.
They were,
and
she was
he died
when he died
brain
of
cancer.
Yeah.
But, it's just a beautifully made film. It's
That was
Best
a love
Picture
of her life.
night.
There was a great documentary made about him.
True.
Which I think is on Amazon HBO.
He's only made about 4 films. He made Godfather 1 and 2. He made Dog Day.
He did The Conversation
he
and
did
this.
The Conversation, yeah.
A hell of a filmography.
A hell of a filmography. Not a filmography.
A filmography.
But a filmography. A filmography.
By the way, all the flashbacks we're talking about tonight, everything is available on Amazon if anybody cares.
Amazon?
It's on there
If you haven't seen it by now, what's the matter with you?
Well, they'll watch it on Amazon.
What's the matter with you? If you haven't seen it by now, what's the matter with you?
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 What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
God bless you.
But Deer Hunter's great, man. I don't think we need to discuss it too long. It's just a classic.
I don't think we do. Let's move on to our next film.
Let's
move on to our next flashback.
The next one is just as harrowing in different ways. The 1972 Deliverance, starring
oh my God,
Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty, Ronnie Cox, and John Voight.
This is quite a film.
It's very memorable. Again, a film that left a mark on me when I was a kid.
Absolute classic.
Yeah, it is.
And you can almost say the same thing about Deliverance,
Which is what I said when I introduced the film.
It's one of the best and emotionally brutal movie.
It is
a tough...
one scene in particular, just like, oh, what did I see?
Well, poor Ned. Poor Ned.
I believe it was, he did such a good job at selling that moment that it felt so real.
This ruined Ned. His last name is?
Beatty. Ned Beatty. I think it hurt his career.
This killed his career. It didn't kill his career because he still went on. He was nominated for an Oscar for, I believe, Network, which was like 76. William Holden, and there was a woman in that film who won Best Supporting Actress. She was only on camera for like 22 minutes, played William Holden's wife.
Okay.
But I'll tell you something, Ned Beatty, every time, there's a scene where he gets raped.
Yeah.
Brutally raped.
Well, the storyline, I've even seen it. A bunch of buddies go down to the river.
They go down a river. This is from a James Dickey novel.
Yeah, they go down to this big river in Appalachia.
Burt Reynolds.
And they're going to go hunting. John Voight. And then they get involved by accident with some Appalachia who think that they're trying to steal their moonshine.
Correct.
Right? So, and it's all about how they get into some pretty crazy situations.
So they decide to take these men, John Voight and Ned Beatty are taken kind of hostage.
Yeah.
They're in the front boat, and Burt Reynolds and Ronnie Cox are in the back boat.
Yeah.
And so there is Ned, panties down, being raped by this man. It's a horribly brutal scene. And the guy says to Ned, now squeal like a pig, squeal like a pig. Poor Ned Beatty, every time he'd be in an airport, he came on the Tonight Show one night with
somebody
it wasn't
yelled.
with Johnny Carson. I think it might have been Burt Reynolds, as a matter of fact, who was hosting the show that night. And people in the audience are screaming, "Hey, squeal like a pig, Ned!" Poor guy.
It's a shame. Everywhere
you know,
he goes.
everywhere he goes, he literally had to put up with that. And then, and I think it might have been Jay Leno, and Jay Leno said to him, like, "Does that bother you?" And he goes, "I'm laughing all the way to the bank." But you could see he was crying on the inside. It was the fakest laugh I ever saw.
As an actor, I don't know if I could do that scene. That's a bit much.
Well, you know, it's
I give him a lot of credit for doing that movie.
Somebody had to do it.
Somebody had to do it.
And he was oddly perfect for it because he was a pig star, just like our pork star up there. But, Christ, it's Greg from Tavern. Tuning in, little show. It's very good so far.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Thanks for tuning in.
Chris, it's Greg from Tavern.
Good to see you.
Okay, dude. Good to see you, G-Cop5.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, that scene when he gets raped, like,
it's horrifying.
He sells the moment of entry so well. And then he goes, squeal like a pig, and he makes him do that sound.
I know.
Whee! Oh, it's just so
And he
horrifying.
goes, "Take off them pants.
Yeah.
Panties too."
Yeah, panties too.
And that guy, and I'll say this, that particular actor who played that role, who now he ends up getting shot by Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Okay. John Voight's tied to a tree. He's about to be mouth raped by these same guys. And that man is shot in the chest with an arrow. They now have to carry him to a swampy, wooded area to throw him in. Everybody talks about that scene in that film because when they carried that guy, he played dead better than anybody had ever seen. There were flies sitting on his eyeballs.
Oh my God.
And he just went into a limp coma. You know, just like your penis did on the night you were married.
Oh yes, thank you.
on your wedding night.
You were there.
I was not, but I heard rumors. But seriously,
folks,
to
not kiss and tell. It's a
there
shame.
you go.
Yeah,
well, there you go. Well, you know, I think that blog she wrote in the New York Times might have ruined your whole career.
Ah, what a shame.
But you know, I mean, they talk about how this man had mosquitoes are in his mouth.
Ugh.
Flies are sitting on his eyeballs. And he never once. I saw, if you check out the 40th anniversary of Deliverance, they have John Voight, Burt Reynolds, and Ronnie Cox sitting in a room, just the three of them. And Ned Beatty is not there. I don't think he's there. I'm sure he's not there. For reasons, I don't know why. He probably was acting somewhere, but it's not important. So the three of them, they're just sitting there, and they're just amazed at how this guy was able to act dead so good. And he has since passed away, apparently, but
it's too bad.
An amazing actor. And he was basically kind of a backwoods guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and the guy that plays the kid, the banjo, the famous banjo scene.
It's not him playing.
What?
That's not the kid playing, you know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
But I read that he grew up and now he's working in I'm not even joking, I think I read that he's flipping burgers somewhere now.
Well, I'll tell you this. That young man, you can see they had an actual famous banjo player behind him. And when you go back now, there's one scene where he's sitting on the first time they see him.
Yeah.
He's sitting on a front porch.
Yeah, he's on a front porch.
You can see the arms of the actual guy.
I gotta look for that now.
Check it out. Yeah. You'll see it. Now that you know to look for it, you'll see the arms come around and you see the actual hands holding the guitar.
It's a famous scene, and the kid really looks like he's inbred. Sorry to the guy who really lived that appearance. Do you remember Ned Beatty's first line when he sees that kid?
No.
He says, he goes to Burt Reynolds and says, "Hey man, we got a live one here."
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a great movie, though. It's a John Boorman film.
It is a classic John Boorman.
I love some of the film when, you know, there's some misrepresentations that kind of go on that are so off the wall. There's a Technicolor sequence that's inverted. They invert the negative when John Voight is climbing up.
Oh,
because
I remember that.
One of the guys, in fact, the guy who...
Played dead, right?
No, not that guy.
The other guy.
Actually, it might have been that guy. No, this is after.
Okay.
This is after because somebody gets killed and they have to lower his body down. But there's like an inversion of color. So when John Voight's climbing up the side of this mountain, you see like the mountain suddenly turns like a negative blue. It's so cool.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
it's just such a bizarre little piece of work, and I love the film. I really do.
It's a great film.
The ending is as haunting as can be. James Dickey plays the sheriff of the town. He was a major rectal orifice, I heard. He tried to be on the set through the entire thing. John Boorman said, "Get out of here," made him leave. There's all kinds of great backstories on Deliverance.
I'm going to look up the trivia, actually.
Yeah,
I love
it's pretty
that
cool.
stuff.
It's pretty cool.
But check out Deliverance if you haven't seen it.
Let's go on. We still got a little time left, I think.
I mean, it's 9:15. We'll try to stop at 9:30.
We'll just, we could do that if, I don't think anyone's going to complain. But
yeah, I mean, we're just going to be quick. We're going to do Midnight Cowboy, Best Picture, 1969.
Right into another John Voight film. 1969,
with
Best
Dustin
Picture.
Hoffman, John Schlesinger, Schlesinger directed. It's a tough one to say. John Schlesinger.
He's a British man.
Yeah, he directed this film. And so it's basically about a guy from Texas who's kind of naive, goes to New York City. He wants to become rich.
Yeah.
And he meets up with a tramp, a guy who's kind of a bum, played by Dustin Hoffman, who's kind of also like a scammer.
I'm walking here. I'm walking
here. If there ever was a character piece, it was this movie for these two guys. They really played some characters here.
And they were both in competition with each other.
To see who could outact the other.
In my humble opinion, Dustin Hoffman blew him off the screen.
Amazing.
He really
it's one of
did.
his best roles.
I think he's wonderful.
Yeah, he's great.
My favorite scene in the film, he goes to they go to a party, an Andy Warholian party thrown by Viva Superstar, who was kind of a weird, ambiguous person of the Andy Warhol gang, who hands out flyers. He goes to the party, and he's taking handfuls of roast beef and ham.
Yeah, I remember that.
Stick them in his pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
And so she says to him, she says, the food is free. You don't have to steal it. And he says, well, then I ain't stealing it, am I? I love it. He's sticking handfuls of roast beef in his pocket. I loved it.
It's great.
Fantastic
and
stuff.
that great song at the end.
Yeah. Everybody's talking about Nielsen. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
Written by the great
really
Fred Neil, who is now dead, ladies and gentlemen.
And we must say, because it's a point of history, that this was, at the time, the first X-rated film, the only X-rated film to ever win Best Picture.
Absolutely.
Which I think now the film has been downgraded to an R, which I believe
it has indeed. You know, I don't even think there are that many major release X-rated films at all.
No, well,
there was.
Well, it's become NC-17 now.
No, there were actually a few
still
back.
Doesn't help your chances at the box office.
I think not Medium Cool, but there was another film that was. There were a couple other X-rated films back in the '60s.
Today, this film would be
Quiet Days and
mild.
Clichy was. You know what else was the first? One of the first major ones was a film. Was the Henry Miller. It was the trio. Uma Thurman was in it.
Okay.
Gee, I can't remember. Philip Kaufman directed it, and it was about Henry Miller and the threesome of women that he had when he lived in France.
I know the movie you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a great film. Yeah, that was that was the first NC-17 film that ever came out.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
That was the first one.
Yeah, it'll come to me in a moment. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. It was like 1980, I believe, or something like that. It might have been.
No, I think it was more recent than that. I think it was late.
No, I don't think so.
Well, it wasn't like late 80s? Because Uma Thurman was very young
that's true.
in the mid 80s when Baron Munchausen came out.
was her first
So this
film.
must have been late 80s, early 90s.
You're absolutely right. It had to be.
It'll come to me in a moment. But Midnight Cowboy,
great movie.
By today's standards, is mild. Because some of the sexuality that's on display in this film is why it got an X rating. But now we've seen worse than an R-rated film. I mean,
I've seen worse in some of our videos, to be quite honest,
right.
and those don't get any ratings at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a great movie. Check it out. It really is a classic. It's a performance film more than anything.
Fritz the Cat. There you go. Pork stars.
Highly recommend it. And I guess we can move on. I mean, is there anything else you want to say? What else do you want to say?
Midnight Cowboy is just an absolute classic.
It is.
I love the film dearly, but
it's a great movie.
Not much to really be said about it. We can go into Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, we're going to end the show on Rosemary's Baby, 1968. Roman Polanski directed this film.
He did.
Starring Mia Farrow, John Cassavetes.
He's going through a little bit of a contesting he is right now because they're trying to put him in the Harvey Weinstein category.
I know they are. Me
and
too,
they're trying to.
He is exiled overseas.
Correct.
He will not come into America because if he does, he will be arrested.
Right. Even though
for rape allegations from the 70s.
Even though the 13-year-old girl that he had sex with,
she's consented since.
She has said, "I don't want to press charges."
Because she said she was into it, right?
She said she was into it.
But because the law states you can't have sex with somebody underage, it was a crime.
I know.
Which is what it is.
I'm telling you.
He committed a crime, regardless if she wanted it.
I know.
You know?
The other day I was on a park bench. I said, "Officer, how did I know she was 15?
Yeah. If a 7-year-old kid says, "Shoot me in the face," and you shoot him, it's still a crime. Just because it's consensual doesn't mean it wasn't a crime.
Well, that's true.
So
that's a horrible analogy.
It's really not a great analogy, but I thought it was a good one.
No, it's not. It's not at all.
Shut up. Rosemary's Baby, though, I'm going to tell you that this film, I didn't love it. when I watched this for the first time, I had heard so much about this movie. Oh, it's this disturbing movie. Woman gets possessed and
it's a
has sex with
fantastic
the devil.
book.
Came out in '68. The Devil's Baby.
It was a book like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
It became more famous as the book before it became the film.
Yeah, I mean, I love The Exorcist, but I just felt that this film, for me, it
does
didn't
fall a
live
bit
up
flat.
to the hype that I had heard about. Just like when I first saw Halloween, all that hype. I'm just like, eh.
Really?
It has some good moments, but overall, I don't love this film. I think it's a good film, but I don't love it by any extent.
Understood.
But
has some
I feel
wonderful.
like you like it a little more.
Well, I'll tell you why I do
There's some
like
good
it.
acting.
There's some great acting. I love John Cassavetes.
He's great in this.
Although he's a little demonic. He's a little too demonic right from the start. He's a little too evil. But there is a guy named Sidney. Sidney
Blackmer.
Sidney Blackmer.
Right here.
He was nominated, but Ruth Gordon, who plays his wife,
yeah, she's in the film.
She won an Oscar for this film in 1968.
Supporting. That's supporting.
Ruth Gordon, not Ruth, but Mia Farrow was dating. There's always stories around these films.
Was she with Woody Allen at this point?
No.
Okay.
She had just cut her hair. She was with Frank Sinatra at the time.
That's right.
So Frank Sinatra used to come down to the set, was very upset to see that Mia Farrow had cut all her hair off.
Oh.
But I'll tell you this about this film, and that nightmare. There is a scene there where she is taken and has she believes that it is an incredible scene where she's having a nightmare, and she says, and actually at the very end of the scene, "This isn't a dream. This is real." And it's where she's actually getting inseminated by the devil.
Exactly.
And that
was a horrifying scene. I remember that scene vividly.
Well, I remember it because there's a crowd of people standing around her.
Watching.
And number one is the Pope. Number two is Jackie Kennedy. I believe John Kennedy is in there. Now, John Kennedy had just been assassinated 6 years prior. 5 years prior. He was assassinated in November. Yeah, in 63, November 22nd, correct. So, there they are appearing in this film. That particular dream sequence for me, and by the way, that was designed by Salvador Dali.
Interesting.
He had an input into
cool.
that. And it was so cool, and it gave me absolute creeps. To this day, I still think about that dream sequence. As I've said many times, Roger Ebert, you, me, when we're on our deathbed, will our memories actually be of our own life, or will our memories be of the films we saw? And sometimes,
for me, it's going to be my own life.
Well, it is.
But movies are important, obviously.
You have a real life.
I try to have a life.
Not me. I live my life through the vicariousness of film. I watch so many movies.
I know you do.
And so I do. I will probably be on my deathbed and go, "Rosebud, Rosebud." I'll be screaming out, "Get off that Empire State Building, King Kong."
Now, being a big fan of Psycho, how do you feel about Porkstar's comment about Psycho?
What's the comment? Psycho is like what?
He says that he said it's groundbreaking for the time that it came out.
Yeah.
But he thinks it's overhyped watching it now.
Oh, I totally disagree.
Because I know you love that film.
I love Psycho.
He watches it once a year.
No, I watch Psycho more than once a year. I love that film.
Every time he looks in the mirror, he sees Psycho.
I do. Well, when I look at you in the mirror, which I did 2 weeks ago, and I feel pretty.
Yes.
I felt a little Psycho feeling stirring in my gutty wats, as Alex would say in Clockwork Orange. But viddy well, little brother, viddy well. So I love Psycho. I'm very near and dear to that film. I just love the music. I love. There's only one sequence in that film, and it's an 11-minute sequence, and I always have to turn it. I fast forward through it, and that's the first time when Norman comes down. Marion Crane has just been murdered in the shower.
Yes.
And there's a cleanup scene.
Oh, yeah.
That cleanup scene takes like 11 minutes. It's done in real time. It's not 11 minutes, probably 8 minutes. But it's done in real time. So we see Norman, played by Anthony Perkins, cleaning up the bathtub.
Yes.
He has to clean up everything. As he's cleaning, he knocks down a picture on a wall, which is of a crane.
Yeah.
It's of a bird.
Yeah.
Marion Crane,
yes,
bird,
yes,
little
yes,
Hitchcock thing. A lot of people looking in mirrors in this film. I'll tell you, Porkstar, go back and watch that movie again. There are so many wonderful little side things that happen. A wonderful thing where Vera Miles walks through the Psycho house at the end and finds, before she gets into the basement with the swinging light and the dead mother, neat.
And you know the whole sequence you're talking about when he's doing the cleanup, the whole point of that is now the audience is attaching itself to the new protagonist of the film. Because up until that point, we were with
Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh. And then now, this is the first time that this has happened where a film is saying, no, you're no longer following this character. This is your new character.
This was one of the first times where a main actress, a main actress and main character,
learn this guy.
but more so a main actress, had been actually killed 1 hour into the film.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But we don't know that Norman is the murderer.
We don't, but
we see his mother come in
and we think it's,
mother,
yeah, for
blood.
This is a spoiler if you guys haven't seen this film by now. Well, if you haven't seen Psycho, anybody that watches this going forward,
just watch our show. You'll see enough psychopathic nonsense.
But it was interesting for the time that you're as a viewer now you're aligning yourself with this new character and like, oh, who is this person all of a sudden that I'm with for 11 minutes and
well,
then,
it's not so uncommon anymore. We had the same thing basically.
No, but I'm saying for the first time
I
was
agree.
groundbreaking.
I agree.
Now that happens all the time.
Well,
things
not
like
all
that
the time, but
it's
we
common
can
now.
expect it now.
But
it was then done again in a Hitchcock ripoff film called Dressed to Kill by Brian De Palma.
Yes,
where Angie,
well, his whole career, he's even admitted, was stolen from Hitchcock.
Well, he's just an homage to Hitch right from the start.
But I like some of his films.
But we do see Angie Dickinson get murdered in the elevator by Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
But
that was
anyway, we do want to end our show here, ladies and gentlemen. I should clarify. I meant the hype was for how terrifying it was for the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
That's how I felt about Halloween. Completely overrated. The original one from what I heard about.
And speaking of frightening and just missing out, I'd like to know where the O Nerd is tonight. Wherever you are, O Nerd, I just want to give you a little shout out. He's always so full of manure but I embrace him like I would a strange wart at the bottom of my scrotum. There's just something about the O Nerd. I don't quite know what it is. I don't know why he has such an
I think it's because you know that he's an active viewer who's always there.
He is an active viewer.
Now he's not here.
He's
so
always
the void
there.
is felt.
He's there like that fungus between your toes that you had when you were playing, basketball and
so next week, hopefully he'll be here. Hopefully everybody will be here next week.
Listen, Pig Star, we're happy to have you. I'd like to put you on a rotisserie with an apple in your mouth and roast you like the other, at a luau wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny bubbles. This must Don Ho for you, folks.
Thank you. I don't know Don Ho at all.
You don't know Don Ho?
No.
Tiny bubbles.
I'm gonna pass.
Okay. Why? What's wrong with you tonight?
I'm not in the mood. I already had 3 hits or whatever I had already.
You didn't. You refused all of them.
No, I didn't.
You did too.
No, I did at least 2 on camera.
I handed you the bong. You didn't want it.
I didn't take the bong, but I took the joint twice.
I didn't see you take a joint. I saw you throw it down. And once you handed it back to me, I had to throw it away.
Hey, Automata, I came back to this.
I came back to this. What that is. Convo.
But anyway, guys, we will see you next week for our next fun-filled episode.
It's always been a joy. It's always a pleasure. All hours.
This is our, a bonus. We had an extra 27 minutes tonight. So.
I know. Well, not really, because the show started late. It started about 8:07.
8:03 or 4.
No, it was about 8:05. I'm not lying. I looked at that clock. It was 8:05.
All right, so they got an extra 23 minutes.
Well, Adam's asleep in there. The poor guy, he's out cold. He's out cold.
He's busy.
He's the jack of all trades here. He's got to do all the work. They leave him here. Yeah, it's not fair, damn it.
But that just shows you his value.
It shows you his value, and it also shows you his dedication. And it shows his brain damage that he is so completely, absolutely just utilized to such an extent where the poor guy he's in a coma now.
Oh, well.
God only knows what he's doing. He hasn't eaten. He has an IV in his arm with a cheeseburger at the other end. The poor guy, Adam, please get some food, get some sleep.
We should have brought him
love
something.
you, man. Yeah, we should have brought you something.
But anyway, next week we'll be back. Look forward to talking about more films.
With more films that are worthless and useless and that don't affect you at all in your life.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
But we hope you enjoyed the show. Please stay tuned. You're going to see our incredible video.
Assuming they're going to replay it.
And listen, G-Cop5 and Marco, hang in there right now. They're going to replay this entire episode from the start, and you're going to see our incredible
crazy
homage
video
to Tully. And it's a brilliant performance by myself, if I may say, and Mr. Chris Picard.
But this one is your
Scrotumorts. Thank you so much.
And again, as always, guys, feel free to check out some of our older stuff from our old show on YouTube. Just go to the Film Banter page.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff out there.
Yeah.
Filmbanter@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook.
Go to toiletflush.net.
That's not a real website,
and go to garbagemanure
that's his
organization.
blog, his personal blog.
.org. Go to them and you'll see all our incredible, worthless contributions to planet Earth.
Exactly.
And with that, we bid you
We'll see you next week, guys. Until next time.
Damn. and Mr. Landlines